Welcome to Deep Frost Citadel. I have spent the last month converting everything you know and love about Decked Out 2 and Hermitcraft TCG to Minecraft Bedrock Edition. For those of you who don't know, Decked Out 2 is a deck building, dungeon crawling, treasure hunting game built in survival Minecraft by Tango Tech on the Hermitcraft 9 server. It featured 4 levels, custom cards, doors, and assets, and so much more, all of which Tango goes over in his How to Play Decked Out 2 video linked in the description. Hermitcraft TCG is a fully fleshed out trading card game built using maps in survival Minecraft by Vintage Beef, also on the Hermitcraft 9 server. It took the server by storm, and people created a bunch of arenas and even launched physical cards to buy in the real world. Both of these games were originally on Java Edition, but I brought them to Bedrock, fully functional and just an absolute joy to play, if I do say so myself. So let's quickly run through what you need to know to play this on your world. Hello, and welcome back to the Decked Out 2 conversion to Bedrock, and today we have a big milestone. It's the release of version 1.0. Woo! Celebrate! Yes, I very specifically say version 1.0 because I know that there will be some bugs, and I will very likely have to patch them out and release an updated version of the map. So, let's talk about what this means. You will first spawn in this world in survival mode inside of this custom little spawn room, which guides you with some instructions on how to play Decked Out 2 and how to play Hermitcraft TCG. To begin to play Decked Out 2, you will be in this custom lobby area where you can claim a starter box with some basic frozen assets just like in the real game, as well as a moment of clarity, a bed for setting your spawn, some frozen shards, some crowns, and some item frames so that you can view your cards and your artifacts in much easier. Decked Out 2 is pretty much as you would expect from playing on the Hermitcraft server. It has all the levels, it has all the redstone, it has all the cards, everything that you would expect. However, there are a few limitations, and everything is gone over in this book. First of all, there are no hermit heads. Of course, this is Bedrock Edition. I could add that, but I did not in this add-on. Second of all of the custom Decked Out 2 sounds are under the sounds category in the sounds menu, which means that if you're playing TCG and you do not want to hear the Decked Out 2 sounds, turn this down. If you're playing Decked Out 2, you might want to turn this up a little bit. I also personally suggest that you lower your block sounds so that shriekers are a little bit less annoying, but that's just me. Additionally, I did not convert the trophies. The trophies were the winning conditions, first place, second place, A's phase winners. That's basically just because the geometry is a little bit complicated and I'm still learning the ropes. This might be added in the future, but really I just need some help from some other people who are more experienced with it. So for now, the trophies are not included in this game, unfortunately. Lastly, there are a couple of bugs that were present in the original Decked Out 2 that we still have here, including a crown converter bug where you sometimes lose a crown. And sometimes when you're holding a card in your hand, you might not be able to read it as well as you might hope. To solve this bug with the crown converter, we're going to want to go to the behind the scenes room. To get there, first let's show you how to get to the Great Hall. Right now we're in the custom lobby, but to get down to the Great Hall, you just take this expressway, which will bring you right down to this little area where there used to be the waiting room entrance, but there's now also this world download lobby entrance. If you head past the shop, you head into the Easter eggs area, you click on this button that's up here, you will be in the behind the scenes area where you can view all of the cards, all of the treasure, all the artifacts, and everything else that I've added to the world. If you lost a crown in the crown converter bug, just take one out from here. This behind the scenes area is very important. If you want to spend some time creating a custom deck, you have access to every single card over here as well as item frames to view them in. If you need to restart the world or re-download the worlds for whatever reason, if that reason is, for example, that I release a version 1.1, version 1.2, version 2.0, whatever it is, if there's a bug fix or some bug or some issue that you encounter and you re-download the world, you can use this creative area to rebuild your deck, re-get your treasure, get everything that you left behind in the old world so that you don't lose any progress. Very important area. You can also use this area just to experiment and have some fun, because this is a world download. You don't have to play the world just like Tango expected. But I tried for the most part to keep things as authentic to Tango's dungeon as possible. There are some changes, but mostly things are exactly as you would expect. There are, however, a few very important things to note. First of all, Performance. This is a very heavy, performance-heavy world. Just like the original Decked Out 2, because this uses a ton of custom assets, loads a ton of chunks, has a ton of redstone, you will need a pretty beefy PC to play this world. I suggest that you either have a computer that is well loaded on RAM and well spec'd out, or what I personally prefer and suggest is that you upload this to a realm or a server. I have tested this on realms, even the 2-player realm, which is lower specs, and it works flawlessly, super smoothly. But I've also tested this on my phone, and it is an absolute performance nightmare. One of the easiest ways to see how the performance is in this world is just to ride the minecart. If it ends up super laggy and super slow, then you might not want to play on that device, and you might want to consider uploading it to a realm or a server. But overall, performance should be fine on many of your devices, or at least workable on many of the devices, and you should be able to have a lot of fun without having to pay for a high-end computer or for a realm. Secondly, in addition to some performance concerns, there is a major bug with shriekers, where shriekers will only trigger once when they're activated. If this bug ever gets fixed in the future, I will put out a new world download, but if you, for whatever reason, don't want to re-download that world and you want to fix this yourself, you're going to want to come down into the redstone, to the coordinates that you see in the top left hand right now, and you're going to want to break this observer that we see behind me and replace this air block below it with a comparator. If it does send a pulse out for whatever reason, then you're going to want to head over to the side over here and just press this button to fully reset the Clank system. If this is a little bit too technical for you, don't worry, I will have an updated world download out if this is ever a problem. One more thing, the Easter eggs. Yes, right now every single Easter egg is discovered. However, for your personal world, if you want to experience the joy of discovering all the Easter eggs, you can simply take all the Hermit Easter egg heads out of here, maybe even choose to wear one of them as a little treat to yourself, a little helmet, and you can experience the joy of rediscovering everything Hermit by Hermit. All of the Hermit Easter eggs are still in the dungeon along with their crown rewards, so you can discover them if you choose to do so. Now, everything is covered in this how to play book behind me, so you can skip ahead in the video if you so choose, but just to recap a little bit a few of the other things in here. First of all, creative mode. You will spawn in survival mode. However, you are able to enter creative mode because you will be an operator, so you can do that by going to game mode C. It's suggested to go into creative mode if you want to decorate your cubby, because there's no resources provided, and obviously you're not playing in this world in survival, so just go into creative and have some fun over there. You can also go into creative to recover some cards or recover some artifacts if your deck ever goes missing, or if you ever have any problems with crowns or keys or anything along those lines. Just have fun. But for the most part, this is intended to be a survival friendly experience, except for decorating cubbies. Second of all, there is a game reset button down here, which is an express reset. When these lights are in the resetty spaghetti mode, you can press this button and it'll shorten the reset timer down from 4 minutes to 1 minute. It's also important to do if you're missing any of the mobs are dead, or if you just want to reset their positions because they're not in a good spot, or if they're stuck or anything along those lines. It's very important to do, but it's also very important that you treat it with caution because it takes about a minute and it will kill all of the items within the dungeon. So make sure you don't have anything lying around, no shulkers on their way, nothing along those lines. Lastly, let's talk about the map. The map's something that many of you on Java had many questions about, but on Bedrock, this is simple. This is intended to be a plug-and-play world, so all that you need to do is log into the world, and this little fellow over here will appear. This is the Decked Out Helper. It's an NPC that all its only purpose is to hold this map. It's important to know that the Decked Out Helper will not appear on any player's first time entering the world. They will need to relog once. Just leave the world and then rejoin it, and it should spawn this helper. If it does not, then you're going to need to run the command tag add trusted. You might want to do this for multiplayer if you're in a multiplayer world as well, but for the most part, everything should work as intended. That tag command is just a last resort to make sure that the map loader works perfectly. The last thing I want to note is that treasure droppers in the dungeon will almost never actually be empty, because there's a system that will automatically refill them in the add-on to make sure that nothing like that happens. That's about all that you need to know for the Decked Out 2 portion of this world download. And secondly, I just want to briefly touch on Hermitcraft TCG. TCG was converted to the best of my ability. I'm not an expert on TCG like I am on Decked Out 2, so I just brought over all the individual arenas, including Cubs Arena, Exuma's Arena, Doc's Arena, and the Citrus Arenas from Vintage Beef shops, so that you can play them here. These arenas have had all of their redstone stripped out of them. In order to play in here, you're going to have to put your entire deck into the white shulker box, press the cherry button in order to shuffle it, and then press the black button for every single card that you want to eject out of the shulker. I've gone over this in a previous video, but I'm just recapping it here. If the game is over, you're going to have to press this repeatedly until the deck is fully ejected. There is no automatic system for this. Vintage Beef's card shop is also fully converted. All of the cards are available in barrels and in shulkers over here for you to make your decks out of. One thing that you'll notice is that all these are named unknown map. This is fine because when you put them into your inventory, they will rename themselves. This happens every time you log in and out of the world, and it's a little bit annoying, but it's the price we have to pay for these maps to convert. You'll also notice that some of these maps don't exactly look as intended. This is just because the conversion didn't work perfectly. I do not have the resources to make these cards look perfectly as intended, so this is just what we have to deal with when we're playing with the cards. It's workable, it's not perfect, but it's the best that I can do, and I hope that you can still appreciate that. Again, this additional notebook will cover everything that you need to know about the how to play TCG, including restrictions, rules, where to get your deck, where to get the cards, everything that you need to know about suggestions, even a suggested deck from the internet, and it will cover some of the limitations that happened in the conversion of this, where again, we don't have the trophies for the victory, we're missing Cubs Pharaoh cards, but for the most part, everything that you need to play Hermitcraft TCG is here in this world. With that out of the way, let's just briefly go over how to install this map. This map is going to be accessible in a Google Drive folder linked in the video description, which will have every single version of the world available. Right now in there, all that you'll see is version 1.0, but as things get updated, as bugs get found and fixed, there will be additional versions, and there will also be quick videos on this channel to showcase what the additional fixes in there are. In order to install a map on Bedrock is a fairly simple process. This world is plug and play. It will automatically come with the Decked Out 2 add-on already installed and ready to go so that you can just enjoy the world. You don't have to install mods, you don't have to change anything, just install the world and hop on in and you're ready to go. Big improvement over the Java Edition version, and I hope that it makes things easier for many of you. In order to install a map on Bedrock, there are a lot of different tutorials for this, but the biggest thing to do is just download the .mcworld into your file manager, then open your file manager and open the world in Minecraft. If this doesn't work for you, if there's no open in Minecraft option, or if it doesn't automatically detect, then just Google it. There's a bunch of tutorials out there. That's something that you can figure out, I'm sure. Once it's imported into Minecraft, you can either just open it from your worlds list, or you can put it into a realm. The realm will automatically detect the resource packs and the add-on, no worries over there, and once it's on the realm, or once you've opened it up, you're ready to go. Realms and servers are the easiest way to get it to play on Xbox and consoles, but on single player you can play it on mobile, you can play it on a computer, though I still suggest that you play it on Realms just for the performance of it. With that out of the way, I don't really have anything else much to say to you. All I gotta say is have fun. You know how to get your decks, you know how to set up TCG, you know how to play Decked Out 2. Have fun in this world. It took a lot of time for me to convert it, and I'm sure that there are still bugs, there's still issues, there's still things that need to be ironed out, but for the most part, I think that this is a fun, functional, playable game, and I hope that every single one of you enjoys your time in here. I will see you in the next video, whether it's an update to this world or it's something else altogether. Thank you for watching. Bye bye!